Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well this afternoon. Okay, the camera might stay up. We'll see. Is my microphone working? It doesn't look like it is. Yeah, it's working. Okay. Hopefully it's working. Let's see if it's working. Let's see if it's working. I am going to pull up this video if I'm able. I have the candle lit and I'm going to check the energy because this is looking like it's going to be a pretty intense video, to be honest with you. So I want to make sure. Testing. Make sure. Testing. Make sure. Testing. Alright, give me just a second because I also want to share something with you. And I'm going to explain why I'm doing that. Hey, welcome to the channel and thank you so much for being here. I'm sharing some links with you guys, just in case you are able. Don't feel obligated, but if you're able, right now I have no dog food and no bird food whatsoever. And if someone could donate a little bit to help me take care of the dog and the bird until I get paid next week, I'll be happy to pay you back. Just tell me how much you're sending and who you are, and I'll send it back to you. I just need to take care of my babies. Alright, so I'm just trying to figure out how to share. Give me just a second and we're going to get started. This is going to be a very important message. So I want you to make sure you're here for it and you get to hear it. Don't feel obligated to donate anything, please. I'm just giving you these links because if somebody's in a position to help me, my dog and my bird need food, okay? Alright, so I'm going to close this out now. I've got those messages pinned up there. Alright, the title of this video, I actually came up with it myself, and I can't remember what it was. It said something like, if you're playing games with people's heart, if you're playing, I don't know, y'all saw it. Anyway, I created it and I put it on ChatGPT so other people could use it. Okay. And always, before I do a reading, something will happen in my life that's relevant to the reading so that I know what's going on. And I had a guy reach out to me a couple days, it was last Sunday, pretending to be Brent Smith, I think his name is, the lead singer of Shinedown. And I mean, he was really good at pretending. Really good at pretending. And trying to make me, he was gaslighting me. I mean, this guy was a narcissist. For real. And he had it down pat. And it just it grieves my spirit. It grieves my spirit that love has been reduced to what it's been reduced to. And a lot of times in life, you're going to come across people, men and women, because women do it too, that have no understanding of love. And even if you're like, let's say you're one of the scammers and you're watching, because I've had scammers constantly come after me. But I started having dreams about an actor, and I didn't know who he was. And then I started having visions, and then I started having all these actors that were pretending to be him come to me on my social media accounts. And at first, I thought I was maybe supposed to meet this actor because he was talking to me in my dream. And he even told me he loved me. It was weird. But now I think it was for a different reason. I think that it was to help me because, see, I had no idea any of this was going on online because I don't go online. I go on YouTube to do my videos, and I go on my Facebook account because my family or my friends are on there, and occasionally my kids will post something on other sites, and I'll look at what they post because, like, I want to keep up with my kids and what's going on with my babies. But I'm not a social media person. I'm 53 years old, and I grew up during a time when we didn't have social media. Our social media was the newspaper. If you wanted to know what was going on, you picked up the local newspaper and you read the newspaper. And so social media is not a new thing to me by any means. I understand for the most part. There's only one app that really confuses me, and that's Threads. And I think Threads was created by hackers and by scammers just for that purpose. And it's actually connected to other apps, so it sucks you in without you even knowing it, and it creates a profile for you without you even knowing that you've given it permission to. And I still don't know how it did that with me, but it did. And I am so fed up. Fed up. Okay? And Spirit is fed up. That's the biggest thing I want you to hear, is that not only am I fed up, Spirit is fed up. Because love is the highest vibration there is. And when people start to come at me with fake love, they encounter true love. And then it changes them. They might not realize it at first, but when you encounter true love, it changes you. That's what love does. Whether it's friendship, romantic, career. I mean, you can have loving relationships with a lot of people in your life. Love is not always romantic. But there are certain people in this world, when you encounter them, you are encountering the very heart of God. There are earth angels. The Bible speaks about it. It says in, I think, Hebrews, that be careful how you treat people. Because when you treat people a certain way, you are entertaining angels unaware. Which means that there are certain people on this earth that have the spirit of an angel. And when you encounter an angel, you're encountering God, essentially. And when you encounter God, if you look at the Old Testament, every time someone encountered God, what happened to them? It changed them. One man even limped for the rest of his life. After his encounter with God. So the first thing we're going to do, and I don't usually pull out the scriptures, but I'm going to read to you what love is. Okay. And I also want to say that I've been seeing a lot that these men, especially, are, and I saw a woman do it too, are talking about the older people online and how off the chain they are, and they want to hear from the older people online. Well, the reason why that is because older people have a tendency to have problems mentally with their memory and with various things. And they're taking advantage of loneliness because widows are lonely and they are vulnerable. And do you know that this word, this living, breathing word that is Jesus, says to take care of the widows and the orphans? They categorize them as the same thing. Because a widow is an orphan. And we are mandated to take care of widows and orphans. And when you go after one, either one, to take advantage of them, God help you. I'm going to read to you what love is. If you have anything to add that's of value, feel free to add it. Okay? I have somebody's name written in here, in the year. Interesting. It starts in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And I'm going to read you the whole chapter because all of it has merit. When you read scripture, you should always read what comes before and after so you actually understand what's being said. Because if not, you're just cherry picking. And that's not going to help. You really need to understand. And you really need to understand scripture from an historical vantage point. And if you understand anything about scripture and First Corinthians, they're letters. They were letters that were written by Paul, who used to be Saul, who was knocked off of a horse when he had an encounter with God and became blind. God blinded him, and he never saw right again. He wrote almost the entire New Testament letters to different churches. Corinthians was a place, and there was a church in Corinthians. And the Corinthians were like the hoodlums. They were the most ungodly of all the people in churches. And they were trying to mix their old way of living with their Christianity. And so Paul is essentially reminding them that first, however, let me tell you about something else that is better than any of them. And before that, he's talking about how God has placed certain things. Let me tell you what's being said here. Now, all of you together are Christ's body. He's talking about these people in Corinth. And that they are the church. He's explaining to them, now you all are Christ's body. And each one of you is a separate and necessary part of it. Here is a list of some of the members that God has placed in the body of Christ. I am a member of the body of Christ, so I am going to be in this list. Okay? First are apostles. Second are prophets. And I think that what I am is a prophet. Third are teachers. I think I'm also a teacher. Then those who do miracles. Those who have the gift of healing, and I also have that gift. Those who can help others, and I also have that gift. I think I have all of these gifts, actually. And I don't know how. Those who can get others to work together, and I also have that gift. And those who speak in unknown languages. There are actually people who can speak languages that they don't know. Like if they go to Africa or to someplace in Europe where they don't speak English, and the people there need to hear about Jesus and God and about the Word of the God, of the Creator, they can actually talk in that language without knowing how. That's a gift. There are people who know languages, just like there are people who are naturally talented with musical instruments without knowing how they know how to play them, or they have a beautiful singing voice. People can speak other languages in the same way, okay? So he's explaining to them that all of you have these gifts. So they weren't operating in those gifts. And the reason why those gifts weren't operating in their church and in their lives is this, okay? Is everyone an apostle? Of course not. Is everyone a prophet? No. Are all teachers? Does everyone have the power to do miracles? Does everyone have the gift of healing? Of course not. Does God give all of us the ability to speak in unknown languages? Can everyone interpret unknown languages? No. And in any event, you should desire the most helpful gifts. Remember those that have the gift to help others? Like I said, I need dog food. If you could send me a donation to my Cash App or my PayPal to buy the dog food, that's helping somebody that's in need. Not me, Otto, who's been on every video I've made and helped me with the videos, and my parrot, Cosmo. I'm not asking for money for myself. My pets have no food. So there's a storm coming too. So there could be a storm coming into someone's life because of their behavior. So he's explaining to them that God gives each of us gifts so that we can use them in the church. Look, it was flaming pretty well until I moved it. Yeah, there we go. There's negativity here. A pretty significant amount of negativity here. Somebody doesn't like this message, and I really don't care. I can't get the fire department out here again because I'll get in trouble. So I'm not going to let it burn for long, but I am going to let it burn long enough. It went out. There we go. All right. So, Holy Spirit, I ask you in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior, if you would please sanctify this area and set it apart for your purposes and your purposes only, and that you would sanctify me, forgive me of any sins that I may have committed, that knowingly or unknowingly, and use me as a vessel to bring a message to your people to change their hearts and mine to be more like yours. Please, I ask you, please. We need you. We need you. All right. So he's explaining that they have these gifts, but then he says, first, however, let me tell you about something else that is better than any of them. So if you have these gifts, if you have several of them like I do, there's one thing that's better than any of those things, and this is what it says. If I could speak in the language of heaven or of earth, because I think there are other languages that we don't even understand, they're like angelic languages, but didn't love others, I would only be making meaningless noise, like a loud gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I knew all the mysteries of the future and knew everything about everything, but didn't love others, what good would I be? And if I had the gift of faith so that I could speak to a mountain and make it move without love, I would be no good to anybody. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would be of no value whatsoever. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Love does not demand its own way. Love is not irritable, and it keeps no record of when it has been wronged. It is never glad about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith. It is always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. Love will last forever, but prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will all disappear. We now know only little, and even the gift of prophecy, which is what I have, reveals little. And even the gift of prophecy reveals little. But when the end comes, all these special gifts will all disappear. It's like this. When I was a child, I spoke and thought and reasoned as a child does. But when I grew up, I put away childish things. Now we see things imperfectly, as in a poor mirror. But then we will see everything perfect with perfect clarity. All that I now know is partial and incomplete. But then I will know everything completely, just as God knows me now. There are three things that will endure: faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. I don't know why it keeps saying my service is suspended. I just paid my bill. Anyway, so that's what's going to happen, is all of this other stuff. It's important. It's important because each of us are part of God's body, that we know what our gifts are. And that's the purpose of this channel, is so you can get to know what your gifts are. So you can get to know who you are, because you were born with a purpose to operate in these gifts, to bring things to this world. Okay? And that's what God wants us to do. But first we have to learn how to love. And people are using love as a way of extortion. And when you pervert something as beautiful as love, which is the greatest thing of all, it's not going to turn out well. It's not going to turn out well. You're hurting people when you do that to others, and you're getting hurt when it's done to you. And see, I'm a person who loves everybody. So I even love these people that are being frauds, because I see through that. I don't see what somebody does on the outside. I see through it. And many of you may be gifted in that way too. That you don't see somebody's reaction or their behavior when they treat you poorly. But you see that wounded person inside of them that is reacting out of a place of woundedness. And when you see people from that place instead of from their reaction, you don't get angry. You might, but most of the time it's more of a grieving, a sadness. It causes you to cry. Because you see a wounded person who needs love. But they don't understand love. And I personally have been single since my husband passed away, and before, because we were separated because he was an alcoholic. And I had to leave him. But I miss him. Because he was in there for a lot of years and sober. And he treated me well. And he would never let me sit in this house and not be able to feed our animals. He would have already gone out and found something to do to make money and made sure we had enough money to get through until my payday next Wednesday. And the only reason why I don't have any money right now is because I paid my car insurance. They didn't process it. And my car insurance canceled on me, so I had to start a whole new policy. So the money that I had, there's a payment still processing that'll hopefully be refunded to my account. But I had to spend that $150 to get insurance back on my car so I could work. Or I wouldn't be broke now. And if I had money and you needed something, I would help you. But not because you're scamming me. And to pretend like you're a celebrity, they are human beings with feelings and families. And they don't have any privacy as it is. And then you're stealing their identity so you can steal from people pretending to be somebody else. That makes them look like a thief. You're defaming their name. You know how hurtful that is to somebody who's tried their best to keep their reputation to be from being tarnished? Because people talk about celebrities and lie on them all the time. And now there's people that are reaching out to them saying, you stole $10,000 from me, telling me that you were going to ship me a car. And I have dementia and I'm living on a pension. God is not going to allow this to go on much longer. Do you hear the thunder? Do you hear the storm outside? You're creating a storm in your life. And very soon you're going to see the winds begin to blow. And it's not going to be pretty. I don't know what's going to come out in this reading, but I know what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling bad karma, which would be the wheel in reverse. I'm feeling justice. I'm feeling the high priestess. And I'm also feeling like a Seven of Cups type energy because of the confusion of some people that actually fall for these people. Because when you have a beautiful heart and you love people, you connect with everybody. Everybody. But when your mind is feeble, you might forget things, and people are taking advantage of people who are weak. And when you take advantage of people who are weak and people who are struggling with their mental health and people who are intellectually disabled, when you take advantage of those kind of people, you need to be scared to death of what's coming for you. And I don't wish it on you. I pray for your mercy and that God will show you grace. But God's grace is only going to last so long before that wheel is going to turn. Because, see, the wheel is coming out in reverse. And when the wheel comes out in reverse, it's because the universe is bringing good fortune into your life. When that wheel hits, it's because the planets are aligned for you to have good fortune. But see, when it aligns and your fortune is not good, it comes out in reverse. And it'll come out in reverse a lot of times because the universe is having mercy on you. Not necessarily because you deserve it, but you may have children that don't deserve the karma that's coming towards you. But it's only going to be withheld for so long before it's finally going to turn. Because when it lines up with just the right planets, it's going to turn. So if it comes out in reverse, you're lucky. You're being shown grace. But I can't promise you that that's going to happen every time I read for you, if you're one of these people. And sometimes it comes out in reverse because your good karma is being withheld because it's just not time yet. Things haven't lined up. The planets have to be aligned a certain way because of whatever needs to happen. Free will plays a factor in all of this. But it all fits together with this. We just didn't realize that for a very long time because it was hidden from us. And we were told that using cards to connect with the spirit realm was evil. But it also says in here that people will think that evil is good and good is evil. And that's exactly what's going on. And how better for Satan to trick you than to make you think that talking to God is evil. And that not talking to God is good. Don't use those cards. They're evil. I can hear Satan now. Don't use those cards. They're evil. Don't use those dice. They're evil. No, they're just material. They're plastic and paper. And God can speak to you through anything. And God, in fact, speaks to us through nature all the time. Every single day, if we listen, we will hear God speak. Every morning and every night we get painted a portrait in the sky. There's always a way to see God and to communicate. I don't need any of this stuff to talk to God. God speaks to me without it. In fact, we've already had the reading. And I've been doing a lot of thinking about the lottery and the dice, using the dice for the lottery, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I'm going to continue to do that. But I'm going to do that privately. And I'm also going to make it a perk if you join the channel. But I will not pull lottery numbers for just any Joe Blow. Because if I do it where it has some value put on it, then I will get the people that Spirit wants me to help win that lottery. Or somebody's going to win it. And it's going to be somebody who really needs it. Because God wouldn't have given me the idea. And I've seen it happen before. You can believe me or not. It happened in Fort Barnwell, North Carolina at Jones Grocery. The man running the store pulled 6 $20 tickets in a row, and we won $100 on each ticket. And I told him not to pull another ticket. And he said, I have to do it just to see if you're right. And I said, you're gonna lose. And he lost. And he and I were both in awe at what happened, to the point where I walked out and didn't even ask him for half of the money. Because I don't use my gifts to profit. I am the prophet. Alright, so the words that came out for this reading. When I get a song, the songs... Is there something wrong with the... Is there something wrong with the comments? Do I have the comments off? There we go. Now I can see your comments. I couldn't see your comments. I'm so sorry. Hey, Fran. Hey, Jazzy. Hey, Oracle King. Kailash, what's up? As I was saying, I had pinned my Cash App and my PayPal because I need food for my animals. I need like $40 to get food for Otto because he's used to gourmet dog food, and $10 for bird food for Cosmo. And if somebody will loan it to me, I'll send it back to you next week. Okay? If you have it, thanks. If not, don't worry about it. God's going to provide. God always provides for me. Always. Always. Okay, then this is the song. And when I get a song, it's just like pulling a card. It's God speaking to us. And this was the song that I was given. It's called Wicked Game by Stone Sour. Okay. World was on fire and no one could save me but you. Strange what desire will make foolish people do. And I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. And I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. No, I don't want to fall in love. No, I don't want to fall in love with you, What a wicked game to play to make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do to make me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say, you never felt that way. What a wicked thing to do to make me dream of you. And I don't want to fall in love. No, I don't want to fall in love with you, World was on fire and no one could save me but you. Strange what desire will make foolish people do. And I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. And I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. No, I don't want to fall in love. No, I don't want to fall in love. No, I. Nobody loves no one. It's almost prophetic, isn't it? But this song was written years ago. It's nothing new. All right, Spirit, talk to us today. What do you want to say to us today in this collective? Let's get some rocks and see what comes out. All right, these are some rocks I picked up from Amazon. I have a message for the collective of God's children. Jesus is Lord. Yes, Jesus is Lord. May I have, and you can choose your own God. You're welcome to serve whomever you desire on this channel. I don't tell you who to believe in, but I don't have a problem telling you who I believe in either, okay? And so I respect your beliefs and you respect mine, and all is well, because we love each other, right? And love is the highest gift of all. All right, we have passion. We got passion. We got trust. This reading is about passion and trust and freedom. Freedom. It's also about having acceptance and a commitment. Okay? That's what we got so far. We have passion, which could be anger, but I don't see it as anger. I see it as somebody being very passionate about their beliefs. And it has to do with trusting people. And it has to do with accepting something maybe that's unacceptable. Commitment, being committed, and being free. Having freedom. That's what's come out so far, okay? Alright, Spirit, what do you want to say out of these cards? I love you, sweetheart, and I miss you every day. Spirit wants us to learn to be content. Contentment is choosing to be satisfied with what God has given you. And my God will meet all your needs according to his glorious riches in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. Content. Being content that right now I don't have any way to feed my animals. So I'm going to have to do what I have to do. Being gentle. Respect underneath that. And having integrity. It's time for us to have integrity. To be content with what we have. And to be gentle with others. And also have respect. Okay? So somehow that goes with that. How are the angels working in our home lives, Spirit? May I see, please? The angels are doing something when it comes to joy. And you maybe feel powerless. Like you don't have any power over a situation. But you're going to have joy anyway, okay? Alright, what about your work life? In your work life, Spirit says, I have a divine plan when it comes to your work life. So you need to find, like I said, your calling. You need to get into what Spirit has for you. You need to learn what your gifts are. But you won't surrender. I have a divine plan for your work life, but you won't surrender to it. You won't give into it. You won't accept the plan that I have for you. And you're powerless, but Spirit's giving you joy. You have no power whatsoever over your home life. Maybe you don't have any power over where you're living. Maybe your electricity is out because you can't pay the bill. I mean, I don't know what that means. There's no power, but you're happy anyway. Maybe that's you being content because you have integrity and you're kind. Maybe you gave all your money to a scammer and they cut your lights off. Don't give your money away to anybody online. Don't. If you don't know that person and they won't... First thing is, if somebody talks to you and they won't call you and let you see their face on the camera, don't talk to them. Cut them off. Unless God has given you a gift of prophecy and to be able to see through somebody that's being deceptive, unless you have sight to see, unless your spiritual eyes are open and you can see through a person, cut them off. If they won't show you your face, that is the biggest #1 red flag right there. And not a picture, a video. They steal pictures all the time. I had a dream this week the moon was in Scorpio. And I dream when the moon is in Scorpio all the time. My husband brought me a lamp. Remember now, I'm talking to a guy who's pretending to be the lead singer of a band called Shinedown. And I knew he wasn't the lead singer of a band called Shinedown. But he grieved my spirit so heavily because even though he may not be able to sing like Brent Smith or whatever his name is, he has some kind of talent. But he's using it to scam people. He has computer skills. If nothing else, he could run a damn cash register. Alright, I'm done with that. Surprises. Get a freaking job. And if they don't have any opportunity where you live, I am sorry. But God will use you in some kind of way. If you'll surrender in your work life, God has a plan. But you have to surrender to it and not be too good to do it. Or be unwilling to do certain things. Alright, our surprises are that we're going to be at peace. And nature is in reverse. So there's something going on with nature. Not being out. Maybe you're not able. Maybe you're in prison. Maybe you're watching me from prison. Because I have had people do that. You might be incarcerated and you can't go outside. But you're going to have peace in your heart anyway. For some reason you're not grounded or something. You're not able to get outside. It might be raining a lot where you live. Alright, love life. We all want to know about that, right? In our love life, we're going to have a vision. Maybe we're just going to be able to see the truth about whether or not somebody really cares about us. Because it's strange what foolish people will do when it comes to love. Alright, what's our role here? What is our part? What do you want us to do, Spirit? Spirit wants us to have faith and to be blessed. Can you do that, collective? Can you have faith and be blessed? I can do that. I'm having faith that my babies are going to be taken care of. And so am I. And I am at my second paycheck. This will be my first full paycheck. And I've already had to spend about $500 out of it on bills from June. But July I get 3 paychecks. So I'm going to finally get caught up. Alright, and what's the outcome? We're going to have unity, be shown mercy, and we're going to start thinking about things. Spirit is going to start giving you downloads, thoughts. Spirit is going to give you thoughts in your mind about mercy and unity. So somebody you may need to talk to, or you're going to be united with someone. And you're also going to have prosperity is what you don't see coming. So you're going to be shown a lot of prosperity in the coming days. Probably because you're going to surrender to this divine plan. And realize that you're powerless. And if you'll just stop fighting against being powerless of whatever having acceptance is the key to powerlessness. When you don't have any power over something and you just accept it exactly the way it is, that joy will return to your life. But when you insist that that's being content. If you insist I'm going to be miserable because I can't have what I need or I want, you're going to be a miserable person. And misery loves company. So then you're going to go looking for other people to be miserable with you. Alright, one more time, Spirit said. Where are we going? Surprises. I'll be darned. Look at there. Look what came out as our surprise, collective. Love. And there's our freedom. That's what's going to bring you freedom. It's love. And I told you, Paul wrote almost the entire New Testament of letters from prison, and he was blind. And he was being imprisoned because he was a Christian. That's the only reason he was imprisoned. And he should have been killed. But before he got knocked off the horse, he was one of the ones that was killing the Christians. He was a member of the Sanhedrin, which was the highest sect there was in Jewish government. So they were going to try him instead of just killing him to see if he wanted to change his mind. Because he knew everything about Jewish law. He was educated in Jewish law because he was one of the elect. He was a very special person, is why God chose him. And some of you are very special, and you've also been chosen, but you don't want to accept God's plan for your life. And when you finally accept it and surrender to it, you're going to have passion, commitment, trust, and freedom. And it looks like you're going to have love and unity with somebody. And your role is just to simply have faith that this is going to happen and have the blessings. And in your love life vision, I know I have a need for new glasses. And I wish God would heal my eyes completely. But if not, I pray that I get my glasses. But I don't know what vision means yet. We've got to pull more cards to find out a little bit more about what's going on here. All right, let's pull some tarot and see which direction the universe is taking us in today. How are you working in this collective, Holy Spirit? May I see, please? I'm here to use the red deck. I hate using the red deck. Spirit, why you gotta make me use the red deck? Spirit said I already know why. Okay. Alright, how are you working in this collective? Just help me with shuffling. Thank you. That's a lot of cards, but there it is right there. There it is right there. Alright. We have an Empress in reverse, a High Priest upright, and Hope. So, for some reason, the Empress is coming out in reverse. The Empress is very nurturing and loving and mothering and kind and creative. She is the one who makes clothes. She makes crafts. She can run an empire with her Emperor. But for some reason, she's in reverse. This could be somebody's mother, grandmother, or it could be you. You could be this person and you're just struggling right now for some reason. But there's a masculine who is very spiritual. He has a lot of spiritual gifts, like I do. And there's hope. Maybe there's hope for her because of him. Maybe she's just a widow. Maybe she's lost her emperor. Or maybe he is her emperor. But he's just a very spiritual emperor. Alright, what's the energy to overcome? Somebody uses hand signals for some reason. You might use sign language. Fruit trees, especially orange blossom trees. Red hair, facial hair, dark facial hair, beard, mustache. Nice skin. The moon is here. Oh, the chariot is here. The magician is here. And there's a tower in reverse. So there's a tower. There's a need for you to understand something, to realize. Remember that your outcome is going to be thought. That's what you need, is this thought. Whatever this thought is that's going to be your outcome is what's to overcome. You're not seeing something. You're trying to manifest your way out of a dark, uncertain place. by getting movement, maybe moving, maybe getting in a car or an airplane. You may want to go somewhere, and it might have you. Somebody I feel could be crying because they want to go somewhere so bad, and they're begging God, please, God, please get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. Please help me to get over this and get out of this. I'm so tired of being stuck here. Somebody's stuck. And the tower is them figuring out how to get unstuck, I think. And the way they're going to do it is they're going to have to accept God's plan. God has a plan. God always has a plan for whatever's going on. And see, then we have this is the hanged man in reverse. And when you have the hanged man sees things from different, and I'm seeing this from all different angles. But he's in reverse, which means he's not looking at things correctly. And so that's the problem with why you're not getting the tower. But God is going to give you a thought that is going to help you to know. Okay? Alright, and what is going to pull this together? That seems like it would pull it together. But God's going to really pull it together. Oh, somebody's resisting change. What's going to pull it together is that somebody doesn't want to change. I don't want to know what's going to happen. There's the lovers right there. They're going to have to make a choice to change. Somebody is at a point in their life, what they're going to realize is that they have to change. They can't keep living like they're living. Because they are so miserable. And it might be this feminine. But there's a masculine that is here beside her, bringing her hope. What we have here is Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, a Fulicus twice, and we could have water. The High Priest is not a card that is in all tarot. It's only in this deck, and that's why Spirit made me use this deck, because hope is also not in most tarots, and that is something that Spirit and I discussed a long time ago, and we decided that those cards would represent a Fulicus. The hope, faith, love, those cards. So we have an Fulicus vibe here, and then I think we could have Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, but we have Cancer twice. So there's a very strong Cancer vibe that's going on here. We also have Taurus here and Cancer again. A lot of Cancerian energy. Cancerian, I think the moon may be in Cancer right now. Cancer is a very closed off emotional person unless they love you. If they love you, they'll die for you. But they close themselves off, like a crab. They have those defense mechanisms, and they will use them if you try to get close to them, and they are not your friend, because they love deeply and passionately, and they get hurt when they love the wrong people. And so you may be somebody who is a Cancer or has a Cancer placement that causes you to get hurt when you love the wrong people. And you may not be discerning. Most Cancers are pretty intuitive, though. And I think they are. I think you know this person's hurting you. And I think you know you need to get out. And you've been trying to figure out how. There's a reason why you feel like you can't get out. And I'm going to tell you what I think it is. Money. I think that your problem with getting out of the situation you're stuck in, there's a reason why you're not changing, and why the energy that's going to pull this together is that you're not changing. Spirit may not be letting you change something. You might want to change something, and Spirit's like, I'm not going to let you. I got to pull more cards on this to really understand what's being said here. What do you want to look at, Spirit? Let's see what's going on here. I want to know what's going on at home a little bit deeper. Common interest, but there's a power dynamic. Now listen to this. One person holds the control and the other is tiptoeing. Love should feel like a partnership, not a power struggle. So one of you has all the power, and usually that means they have all the money, right? And you remember in your home life, you were happy in spite of the fact that you were powerless. And see, that's what's being said here, is you don't have any power. Somebody else that you live with has all the power. Or somebody in your home life has all the control over you. But you have common interests. Maybe what that means is you have common assets. Like you own a car together. Or the house is in both your names. And so you're having to be happy even though somebody else is holding all the power. And they may be abusive with the power. Because people that tend to have power like that are typically abusive with it. And they will withhold. Domestic violence includes withholding money from people when they need things. You have common interests, and you're going to have communication with somebody that you have common interest with. So maybe the two of you are going to talk about this, and you're going to decide something. Because you're not happy here for some reason. Somebody is a catalyst flame, and you no longer want to speak to them anymore. So there's somebody in your life who was only put in your life to prepare you for the next person. Because you were so immature and you needed to grow up. And that person acted as a parent type figure for you. Alright, what's going on at home? What's going on in our home life, Spirit? Talk to me about home. I don't know if I should take them or not. Might as well, huh? Wow! Somebody is a dream team and they're going to get healing together at home. But right now you're not talking to somebody because of that catalyst flame. That catalyst flame. What if this connection isn't meant to last, but to help you prepare for the one that is? And you're not talking to this person. Because you know you're sharing your healing with somebody that you know can be a dream team with you. So you're with the wrong person. I've been telling y'all that for I don't know how long. Alright, what's going on at work? Spirit said use the other deck. Alright, trauma bonded. You're trauma bonded with this person that you're not supposed to be with. What's going on at work? May I see? Oh, wait a minute. What just happened? Oh, my God. When that happens, Spirit is about to talk to somebody. And look who's on the bottom of the deck. Divine Masculine. Oh, wait. A card fell out. Somebody has to make an apology. Somebody's not saying they're sorry, and they know they should. All right. Talk to me, Spirit. What's going on at work? That's the epiphany about the Divine Masculine that's not in the picture for some reason. You guys you're Divine Masculine and Feminine, but you're not each other's. You're just in that energy. And I don't know that there isn't each other's. I think that some of us just get to that level spiritually, and we meet other people that are at that level spiritually, and we connect with them. And I think it can happen more than once in life. I think it can happen many times in life. A lot of people say you only have one twin flame, but I don't know if I believe that. That's not been my experience. Somebody's jealous, and you're realizing that they're jealous. I think that somebody has been pretending to be all sweet and innocent, and like they have no problem with this person that's your twin flame or whoever they are to you. And all along they've been jealous and they've been telling you lies. And I think you're finally realizing that you've been hating on somebody because of somebody else's lies. And a lot of them. What's going on at work? Spirit's working on you sharing healing with somebody that would make a dream team. But you got to get over a catalyst flame. The catalyst flame is like a false flame. They're only there for your healing so you can move on to the right person. You are exhausted because of where you're living. You don't want to be there. You're tired of being wherever you're at. You don't want to live there anymore. You're sick of it. Alright. What's our surprise? Woo! There it is. There it is. That somebody is jealous. And that the jealousy is causing somebody to not be longing. Who wants to be with somebody who's jealous? I don't want to be with somebody who's jealous. Do you? Alright. And love life. No. Homework, surprise, love. So your surprise is that somebody's jealous and you're no longer wanting them in your life anymore because they're jealous. You don't want that jealous shit. Alright, what's going on in your love life? Whoa. Love. There's a love affair. There's gossip. Oh my God. You're unhappy. You can't smell the roses today. Today you're unhappy and you're not stopping to smell the roses because somebody's gossiping about a dirty little secret, a sex fix, or an affair. There's somebody gossiping about an affair. And that's what's going on in your love life. Alright. What's our role here? To glow up. It's time to glow up, collective. Get your hair, nails, new outfit, redecorate your house, get a new car. Whatever you can afford to do to glow up. If nothing else, get your nail polish out and paint your nails yourself. Do it the old-fashioned way. I gave myself a haircut not long ago, if y'all don't remember. I didn't have the money to get one, so I gave myself one. Alright. And what's the outcome? You're going to stop the wishful thinking. There's something you were wishing would happen, and you're realizing it's not going to happen. That's your thought. Spirit's going to help you to realize what you've been wishing for is not going to happen. Because you're going to be blocked. Somebody's going to block you. Alright, what's the surprise out of this deck? That you have chosen family. You have a mind connection. The two of you could talk for hours. But there's no domestic bliss. So, in your love life, you're with a chosen family. Like, this is who you chose as your family. This isn't your biological family. It's like maybe who you married into. But you have a mind connection with somebody, but you can't have the domestic bliss. I think it's because you have somebody you want to have this affair with. You may not be having this yet. This may just be somebody you're talking to. But you may be married talking to somebody else. And you're tired of living with this person. And they're jealous over you talking to somebody else. And of course they're going to be. Alright, what's our roll out of this deck? You can't talk to somebody else when you're married. You need to get the divorce first. Or you need to, I don't know, move out on your own. But don't be, that's cheating. That's cheating. If they don't like it and they're jealous over it, you have to respect that and know that that's cheating. It's really not. They shouldn't be jealous. Y'all been bickering. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. You've been bickering. You have an addiction. And you're trauma bonded. That's your role. And that's why Spirit's saying it's time for a glow up. New opportunities new career, and a successful business. It's time for you to get off of them drugs, alcohol, money, sex, whatever it is you're addicted to that you can't stop doing, masturbating, having sex with strangers. You got some kind of addiction, but it's causing you to fight. All right, and what will be the outcome? I'm not going to take this much further. I'm going to pull some tarot on it. Your outcome is going to be you're going to no longer have money problems. It looks like your money problems are finally going to come to an end because you're going to meet your future spouse. So it looks like you're going to meet somebody new, and that person is going to be your future spouse. That's good. Because the one you're with now, I don't know that y'all are even married. I think you might just be living together. You could be married, some of you, but for the most part, I think a lot of you, it didn't say anything yet about divorce or anything like that, but y'all are not getting along, and you're talking to other people, you're tired of living with this person. They have all the control, and they were never meant to be forever. They were just meant for them to help you to do your healing. This was like a what they call a karmic relationship, but relationships are just relationships, and all of them can have karma, no matter who you are. All of us have karma, okay? So I'm going to try to do away with the myth of all of this twin flame crap. We're going to do it one step at a time, though, so we make sure we're not going against something that God has truly created. Because I will say that God has truly created soulmates. Now, that's a true thing. A soulmate is a true thing. We have many of them. And there could be a higher level of that because this world has lost its understanding of love. And I do think that some of us have been brought together at a higher level. We vibrate at a higher level when it comes to love if we do the healing. And if not, we'll meet somebody who has so we can be with somebody and the world can see what true love is supposed to look like again. Because a lot of people have no concept anymore of what true love is. Divorce, back when I was a child, 50% of the people were getting divorced. And I can't imagine what it is now. 80? 90? A lot of people are choosing not to even get married. They're just going to do like, they've seen so much divorce and their parents singing along and they're just like, I'm not getting married. But marriage is a beautiful institution. And I'm not going to be with a man that's not committed to me. It doesn't have to be a traditional marriage, but that person's going to have to commit to me to get in my heart and in my body. Because I've been celibate for 16 years. My husband was sick. I took care of him when he was unable to be in the married way with me. And then I left him, but I stayed celibate. And I promised after he died that I would remain that way until I met my next partner for life. And I'm keeping that promise. Because people use sex as a way to make themselves not have to feel things. And I could have gotten addicted to just sleeping with anybody. I could have gotten addicted to doing it just to get money, just to get help, just to get food for my animals. There are women, and I'm not judging them because they're doing what they have to do, and I get it. It would have been a whole lot easier. There's been many men who wanted to get in my bed. But I have reserved that. That's been reserved for the person who's going to have my heart and who's going to have my back. Because I've been married twice myself. And I loved my husband. We had a love because we were best friends. But I don't know if I've ever truly been in love. I want a man who's romantic and who thinks about me and notices the littlest things, that, the smallest details about my life. And I don't have to keep reminding them constantly because they don't pay attention. Because they're too busy worrying about everything else or having an addiction. I'm looking for somebody real. And I haven't been able to find it online. And I made up my mind when that guy started scamming me last Sunday that I was done. I'm done. I'm not looking anymore. Anywhere. Anywhere. So I'll either spend the rest of my life celibate and alone, or the man will show up on my door that wants to be with me and spend the rest of his life with me. And he will win my heart. Just because he shows up at my door don't mean that he's going to get my heart. That just means he had enough passion to try. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. Because what's for me is for me, and nothing that's for me will pass me by. Alright, so let's pull some tarot on these and see what we get. And then we can do some questions, if we all have some questions. Which ones? I love the new tarot, the Joker. If y'all purchase anything that I put on there, I get 20% profit from that, from the person selling it. And I tried to give you some good options for prices. That Joker tarot, I just got the basic one from the bookstore. But they have one that's got like a ritual kit with it, if you're into that kind of thing. Alright, why is the Empress here? Because of stability and not having a job. She needs stability, but she's not able to work for some reason. Maybe she lost her job and couldn't work, and she couldn't, she may have spent up all of her savings or something like that. Or it could be whoever's got control over here because she's not able to work. Somebody's not able to work, and the other person has all the control. There's justice here with the Eight of Pentacles. So somebody's going to probably end up getting a job to bring justice to a situation that needs to be brought to justice. Alright, why is the Empress in reverse? Because she's going to have to take a risk and get a job. So she might just need to go out and get herself a job and start working. She's going to work on something. She's going to take a risk to work something out. Alright, why is the Empress here? May I see, please? Okay. The Page of Pentacles came out in reverse. The Page of Pentacles, it could be one of her children that's just like her and they don't get along. Or it could be that her thinking is in reverse right now because she's just hurt or she's upset or she's deep in her subconscious. She might just be in this moon energy right here. And she's not thinking of everything. You remember the thought is going to be the tower that's going to pull it together. And it's something that won't change. You're going to, I think, have a thought and realize that nothing's going to change here. I got to be what changes. We're going to see that. Alright, what's the Pentacle? It's like a cup of coffee. I mean, it's $5. It's not much. It's a thought of something. It's learning new information. It's like she needs to learn some new information. It has to do with a celebration or a place to live. It could be another place to move, to live. This can represent... The Four of Wands is a building, typically, where you have a family that lives, but they're also celebrating. See the house in the background? This is where they live. The King of Wands in reverse on the bottom of the deck. They live in this house back here, but this is where they've decorated for a wedding. So she might not realize that somebody wants to marry her. Alright, why is the high priest here? This could be the one that wants to marry her. Okay. The King of Swords in reverse, the Hangman in reverse, the Four of Cups in reverse, the Five of Wands upright, the Five of Swords in reverse, and the Three of Cups. This, what I'm looking at right here, this high priest is cognizant, spiritually realizing that somebody that's usually very smart and very intelligent, the King of Swords, he's very fair. He's not being fair. He's not using his good common sense. He's not thinking properly. His thoughts are off. And it's causing him to fight with people. And he's realizing that he wasn't. I think that this is the same person. I think that this King of Swords is a very spiritual person, but he was not living in his spiritual gifts. But for some reason, something has awakened him spiritually, and it may have to do with this woman who doesn't realize he wants to be in a relationship with her. But there was some partying involved, I think. I think the partying is the problem. Alright. Why is there hope for this? What's the hope? What's there hope for? Spirit said use the other deck. The Four of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck in reverse. What is there hope for? Didn't it turn over? I thought it turned over. Oh, it fell out. Okay, there we go. Now we have the Sun on the bottom of the deck. There's hope that somebody will temper themselves. This is recovery from that addiction. So the hope is that this man, he is very spiritual, but he's been living in addiction and with everything that goes along with that. And that is why she doesn't know. Maybe she has decided because of the way he's treated her that she no longer wants to be in a relationship with him. Let me clarify that. How does she feel about him? This could be a Sagittarius and a Gemini because we did have the Lovers a while ago. And we have the King of Swords. She feels like he has just forgotten about her. Left her out completely. In whatever plans he's been making in life, he has had nothing to do with her. So that's how she feels about him. And she's the Queen of Swords in reverse. So these two people have been at odds with each other, and it's because one of them has been heavily in addiction. He is very spiritual, and so is she. And she's in reverse because she doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. But there's hope that this will get resolved. Because temperance can also bring a lot of healing once it happens. It brings a lot of healing to the situation. Okay, why is the moon here? What's going to be the outcome of temperance, first of all? Because let's find out what that's going to... Judgment in reverse, the Six of Swords in reverse, the Chariot upright, the Eight of Wands in reverse, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and the Ace of Cups in reverse. So somebody... Judgment is when you have this idea, this realization of the truth. It's like somebody doesn't realize that they can't. It's somebody don't know you can't move on, but you can. It's like you're making excuses for you not being able to move on. But you can. You have the chariot here. The chariot is all you need to move on from all of this. But they're making excuses. And there's also been some communication of somebody who I think would bring them a lot of stability and a lot of love, but they haven't been considering them. It's like this person no longer wants anything to do with this masculine. Like she's had it. She knows he can overcome this, but he just won't. And she's just done. He's been leaving her out. He's been partying. He's been mistreating her. He's been talking to her wrong. He's tried to sabotage her life, and even make her feel like it was her fault that it got sabotaged. That's what I see here. All right, why is the moon here? Because of the star in reverse, the world in reverse, the magician upright, and the 9 of cups. So when the star shows up, it's because you've been going through something for a long time, and the star is like showing you still have hope. Well, the hope is in reverse because this person's like, I don't want the hope. I don't care for the hope. I want this over. I just want this to end. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of trying to manifest disappointment. All I'm ever manifesting here is disappointment. I'm sick of it. There's no hope for this. That's the moon. I don't see any hope. That's the energy to overcome. It's feeling like there's no hope for this. Because Spirit's saying there is. But this person has to realize the way they've treated this woman is wrong. And they're not apologizing to her. Alright, why is the chariot here? Oh my God. There's an Ace of Pentacles showing up, y'all. Somebody is going to overcome and make a solid offer. And they're manifesting this. Why is the Magician here? Somebody's about to get made a really solid offer from somewhere. And this woman will nurture that if she realizes that it's being made. Yeah, the truth is here. No more denial. The Queen of Swords in reverse. Look, she's getting over it. She's realizing the truth and coming out of denial and saying, you know what, I've been being defensive. All I got to do is realize that I have victory over this. She's gotten an opportunity from somewhere. Somebody's coming in, and they're coming in fast with information of her having a new opportunity that's going to grow into a huge empire that she's going to run. Where is this coming from? Why is this here? Yes, she's getting ready to overcome. What is she manifesting? That moon energy to come out. She's getting out of that. She's going to be happy. She is going to, this is coming, look, this is coming away from her life. This woman has decided, I'm not living in this. I don't have to live this way. And I feel her. Why is the Tower here? About to make me go crazy. I got a lot of cards here, and I'm not going to take that many, but they all look very relevant. Why is the Tower here? Because that's what's, okay, the money being out of whack and you not being able to balance things out, what are you realizing about that? You're realizing something about this. Spirit's giving you some very significant, it's like you're realizing that the money was the problem all along. Somebody's finally realizing that the money is the problem. You remember when I said they were putting a price on money? I mean, on love? The Three of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So you This man, because of his addiction, has hurt not one but two women. One of them was an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, and the other one was a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. And they broke their heart because of money or juggling them. He could have been juggling these two women and talking to one in secret. He's got a big, one of them is very loving, very sweet, very sweet. This is one of those people that would give you the shirt off their back, a place to sleep if you need it. They would feed you. They would pamper you. They would rub your feet. They would lay your clothes out for you and fix your lunch for the next day. But the other one is somebody who is very flashy and she likes attention. She's probably the one that's jealous, to be honest. But she's very creative and very beautiful, and she has a lot of men attracted to her. She can also be very kind, but the other one is sweet. There's a difference in kindness and being sweet. But he has two women here, and the Two of Pentacles can be him juggling them. But because they're showing up as having heartache, the one that's got the heartache is the water sign. That's probably a Cancer with all this Cancerian energy. But the Queen of Wands, I don't know. She could be a Sagittarius. There could have been a Cancer and a Sagittarius. The Cancer could have hurt this man, and it affected how he treated the Sagittarius. Alright, why is death here? Because that's the injustice. This, something that hasn't changed, and it has to do with the choices that this person's making. That death is clarified by two major arcanas. So what's going to pull this together is this person realizing that I am making the wrong choice and it's causing an injustice for one of these women. And I think it's because this Cancer hurt this man. He may be the Cancer. She may be another water sign, but they might both be Cancers. But somebody here that was a water sign either hurt this man or he hurt them. And there was another woman involved. And it caused her to suffer. And she had nothing to do with it. She may have just been a friend trying to help and got involved with all these people. Look, this caused somebody a lot of grief. Somebody went through something tragic that caused them to have losses. Alright, why is the Sun on the bottom of the deck? Because somebody's about to be happy. Because of the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Something is not going to work out. There's going to be no work. And that's when the Sagittarius is going to come to the rescue. Why is she coming because of no work? Somebody is like, I can't work. I got to go somewhere where I can work. There it is. The High Priestess came out with Knight of Wands. That Knight of Wands will come to your rescue now. Look, you're looking for an opportunity. Somebody here is very spiritual. You're ending this third party you've been involved with. That's where somebody got involved. You were very gifted at something, and somebody told you you weren't. And ever since they told you weren't, you have really listened to the wrong people. They criticized you, and it left you a scar that has been in your life for a long time. And you are dealing with somebody who's going to come in real fast and passionately and say, I've been seeing what's going on, and I've been looking for an opportunity to help you, but I just didn't know how. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Oh my God, the King of Cups is here with the Ten of Swords. So this woman could have been heartbroken because her husband died. I don't know if this is supposed to be out or not. I don't know. Is there anything else we need to know? Why is the Ace of Cups in reverse? I think that's where you realizing, there it is. That's going to be your wheel. I think this woman that you mistreated is going to find somebody new. Clarify the wheel. Spirit saying use another deck. The Two of Wands in reverse. May I see what the wheel represents, please? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We don't know. Every time this happens, y'all, Spirit's about to say something profound. Good Lord. How does this even happen like this? Look. May I see why the wheel's here? Why is the wheel here? May I see why the wheel is here? Oh my God, that's a lot of cards. I caught this one with my dress. Alright. The Six of Swords. Okay. What we have up here is somebody doesn't realize that they can move on. See how that bird is stuck in that cage? Somebody has a bird. Butterflies could be significant. That's where the transformation has got to come in. Is you have to realize you can move on from this. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. Not only can you move on, you can take care of yourself. You don't need this person to take care of you who's controlling you. You could be very young but wise for your years. Look at how beautiful this woman is. This is a very innocent, beautiful woman that's wise. And there's an older woman in her life who is also beautiful and spiritually gifted and wise. There's where the fruit trees are coming in. The Queen of Pentacles is here. There's your Queen of Pentacles right there. And I think this is her, yeah. The Queen of Pentacles is going to realize that she can be independent and move on. She is very, very, she becomes the Empress. And that might be what's going to end up happening here. Let's see what else we have. We have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So you're not looking back anymore at what you put into something. You don't care anymore. And we have the Prince of Pentacles, which is like the same thing we have over here. The Page of Pentacles. And the Four of Wands again. The Four of Wands and the Page of Pentacles came out together again. But in this Four of Wands, they live together alone on a boat. So somehow a boat or being on a trip together on a boat could be, you may be planning to go on like a cruise or a yacht. This person can have a lot of money. But you are realizing that you can take care of yourself and that you can move on. In fact, you are moving on. You're not looking back. And you're going to have a relationship and you're realizing it. You're realizing that you can have a relationship. That's the wheel. What's the relationship going to look like? The Star in the upright. the Three of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands. So, remember when I said that somebody had criticized you with that other Three of Pentacles because it shows somebody painting a cathedral and the other two people are critiquing their work? Well, in this Three of Pentacles, it says, form a conscious alliance. Offer your solidarity. So instead of criticizing, come into union with these people. See that they're wounded. Don't criticize them. Realize that your hope comes when you love people and you stop criticizing them. And that is how you're going to get victory. This is the Six of Wands. This is you being recognized publicly for somebody who can bring people together. Remember, like it said in the scriptures? Instead of tearing families apart, you can bring them together and give them hope again. Because you're going to be a model of what love is in this world. The Queen of Wands is also upright on the bottom of the deck. So those two women, the Queen of Cups is not showing up. So I think she's gone out of the whole picture. But I think that Sagittarius or that Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus is still in the picture, and so is this Leo vibe. But the three of you are going to work this out by offering an alliance. Being consciously aligned. You're going to form a conscious alliance to offer your solidarity. Instead of criticizing these people, you're going to come together with them and form an alliance. You could have children together. See the children. We have a lot of children showing up here. We even have this young girl showing up here. Beautiful people. A beautiful family. You're not looking back anymore. You're no longer going to look back at the past. Oh my God! The wheel showed up again, y'all, to clarify itself. The wheel is coming. I'm telling you. This is going to be a beautiful wheel. It's going to bring justice to a very unjust situation, because love, where love has turned into being all about money and who can make it and who has the power and who doesn't, all of that is going to be, that's the thinking that's got to change. Money, you cannot put a price tag on money. You can't. You can't do it. You can try, but eventually you're going to run into somebody like me, and it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. Because whereas you're trying to scam me to fall in love with you so I'll give you my money, you're going to fall in love with something inside of me. You're not falling in love with me. You're falling in love with Jesus inside of me. The Holy Spirit inside of me is in love with you. And wants you to trust, to come out of this place of not surrendering to the divine plan. There's a divine plan, but you have to surrender to it. It's not going to, the Spirit is a gentleman, and this gentleman will not force you to do anything against your will. You have to decide that you're going to do this yourself. And you are a very gifted person, and you have no business being scammed or scamming. I don't care which part of it you're on. There's no point in it. It's taking something that's absolutely priceless and trying to sell it. It's like trying to sell the air we breathe. Without love, everybody would die. Without air, everybody would die. The death would be different. But this earth would be full of hate. If you take all the love out of the world because you put a price on it and people can't afford it, you're going to miss out on some of the most beautiful people you've ever met. And you're also going to miss out on somebody that's carrying around the very spirit of the living God. I just saw something move behind me. I don't know if anybody else saw it, but I did. I don't even know if anybody's watching. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and your comments. I appreciate you guys. This has been a very different message, and I realize that. But sometimes they are. Sometimes they are. Spirit is talking to somebody very specific today. All right, what spiritual gifts are operating in our collective spirit? Hearts are being mended because they need love. Okay? Please don't text me while I'm videoing. What about at work? Woo! Spirit's working on somebody's house. Oh my God! It's their abundance. I thought it was a house. It's their abundance. At work, you are going to have money, raises, bonuses. Spirit's going to give you a job to make more money. Or is at least working on your abundance, maybe just to have a job. What's your surprise? I thought I saw that house card. I must be seeing things. You're going to get your chakras in alignment, and that's a very important thing. Getting your chakras aligned and also meditation. All right, what about your love life? There it is. Oh my God. Oh my God. Somebody is going to talk to you about a house and a new beginning. Let's move in together. This is somebody wanting to talk to you in your love life about y'all living together. Let's get married. Let's get married and live together. I want us to be a couple. I want us to be exclusive. I want you to be mine. I don't want anybody else to ever have their hands on you. Not because I'm jealous, but because you are mine. I'm not saying you can't talk to other men, but don't do it behind my back. Or other women, but don't do it behind their back. If you need to talk to a man, you need to say, hey, I got to talk to so-and-so. I just wanted to let you know. Me and the guy from work are going to go out to lunch tomorrow. You know, just in case somebody sees you. You don't want somebody to be able to gossip about you and say that you're in a relationship when you're not, when you're just out with your coworker. Alright, and what's your role here? Them clouds. I have no idea. I've been looking at them clouds, and I've seen some cool stuff, but I don't understand what that means. That means something, though, to somebody. The clouds. That's your role. Maybe it's been cloudy and the fog is gonna lift. I don't know. 8's here. 29. 10, 17, 7, 1, and 16, which is also a 7. A lot of 7s. Alright, outcome. Outcome is the mirror. The mirror is here in reverse. So you're going to stop seeing yourself in a distorted mirror. And you're going to also have that music. You and that music. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. So I think we're going to get some guidance, and then I'm going to move on to the Q&A if anybody wants it. If not, I'll just close and I'll come back tomorrow. Last weekend I did not do a video on Sunday because of it being Father's Day. And I went and spent the day with my parents, and I didn't get back in time to do a reading. But tomorrow I will have time to do one around the same time as today. Alright, let's get some guidance. Spirit. Why am I calling it Spirit? Spirit, because I was trying to say Spirit kicked some butts last time I did a reading. Alright, Spirit, talk to me. What is our guidance? The High Lady of Love and Compassion, and the word Lord with the Eyes of Beauty in reverse, and the Shadow Queen is where I cut the deck. I'm not going to read all of that. I'm just going to read these real quick. They're not that long. The High Lady of Love and Compassion, which is about reverence, kindness, and consideration. And that's what this reading has really been about. When the High Lady of Love and Compassion chooses to be your ally, she brings you a deep and meaningful message. She reminds you that only love is real. It is the sole, unconditional, and true power behind all means of manifesting out of the unseen into the natural. So without love, you can't manifest. And see, that's why they weren't manifesting. And that's, I think, what that thought was going to be. And that's your realization, is you can manifest all day long. But if you don't have love, you're not going to manifest anything. Love's greatest creative power is ignited by the conscious action of compassion. Generosity of the heart, reverence, respect, and empathy for all living things bring you profound power to live a life of happiness and contentment. Remember contentment? Love, compassion, and kindness to all must be the impulse behind your thoughts, feelings, and actions when your intention is to create a prosperous and abundant life. So if you're trying to defraud things, lie, scheme, scam, you're not going to have an abundant life. Unconditional love will be returned tenfold. Tenfold. That prosperity card was mine, and people like me. And you know who you are. Hey, Priya. Priya, I want to talk to you. Okay? Are you still here? Hey, Manya. You remember when you gave me $100 donation? Okay. I would appreciate that because that really hurt me. Alright. The High Lady also reminds you that when she chooses to be your ally, she brings you evidence that you're loved. All manner of synchronicity align in your favor. If your question refers to a relationship, you're required to think of the other person and inquire what it is that his or her highest good, whether, sorry, if your question is a relationship, you are required to think of the other person and inquire what is in his or her highest good. So not what's my highest good, but what's their highest good. What's the other person's highest good? Give selflessly without asking for or expecting anything in return, and let go. What is yours will come to you. You remember I said what's yours will come to you? Kindness always returns somehow. You will surely receive that which you give in more ways than you can imagine. So if you are a person like myself, you are going to be blessed. Do you remember me telling you that God always takes care of me? And then I put those links in the description box and pinned them because I need food for my dog and my bird. If I don't get a penny from this video, I promise you I will make sure my dog and my bird get fed somehow. Because my Creator, my God Almighty, is still sitting on the throne. He has not fallen off of his throne. And his Son resurrected from the dead, and his Spirit lives inside of me. And the gifts that I have are coming from his Spirit. He takes care of me. And he will take care of you also. But you have to tap into that love. And you have to do it out of a pure heart, not because you expect something in return. And if you've ever known somebody that only does something because they want something in return, and that's all they never do anything unless they get something in return, don't handle that person because they are a user. And it'll never be fair. You're going to always owe them something. I don't give a damn how much you give them. They're going to swear they gave more. And they ain't gave you shit. Alright. And Priya, somebody going by your handle donated $100, but it never came through. And there was a lady on here named Annie that was moderating for me. She did 40 one week and 20 the next, and it never went through. And what they were doing was they were asking me to do it. So I said, if you want to give a donation, I'll stop the reading and I'll answer your question. That way, if you're in a hurry, you can donate and run. You don't have to stay for the whole reading. And I'll still do that. But from now on, nobody will get a reading until the end. I'm not fussing at you. I'm just letting you know what happened. Nobody gets a reading out of me until the end unless they donate at least $20. And that's just facts. Because I'm not letting anybody use me to use my spirit, to use God. Because this is a gift that I freely give. And anybody who gives any money on this channel does it out of a pure heart because they love me and they genuinely want to see me prosper, to see me have what I need in life. I don't know who it was then. I have two Priyas, and I have you and I have another one. Her name is Priya Rubin. She's from India. You told me you're from the UK, right? I'm just trying. What I was going to ask you, to be honest with you, is if something happened to YouTube on the YouTube end. Like, did you donate the 100 and donate it and it not come through, or did your credit card get declined? That was all I was wondering. But somebody was on here with the name of Priya, and they had them letters and stuff behind their name. They know I can't see. And they donated $100 to a super thanks or a super chat, and so did that lady named Annie. It's okay, Priya. I'm not accusing you of doing anything. I'm just asking. The other Priya said she didn't do it either, and it looked more like yours because they had numbers and letters at the end of their name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about it. Just let it go, and I'm happy to answer any question you have today. I'm happy to do that. It should have it for everybody. I set it up earlier, but then I had to redo it. But yeah, it just hurt me because it touched my heart so deeply that she was helping me. And I thought it was you. Actually, I thought it was the other Priya because she has donated to me before. And I was crying. I was so grateful. And only to find out that they were just using me. And that's what this whole video has been about. Is we have to have integrity and be content and be gentle with one another. Because we're passionate and we have to accept something and trust and have freedom, and there's going to be a commitment. Yeah, I don't see you that often. But I do appreciate that you come and visit and that you like the videos. I appreciate you very much. I don't know who it was, but they were here during a week where Kailash did not show up. I had no moderator. I was doing it, and that lady Annie offered to help me, and she was doing a good job. But when I asked her, because I confronted her, I said, none of your money has come through that you donated, when she was asking me if I could do a question for her. I said, did you really donate money or what happened? And she took off and I ain't seen her since. So the two of them were working together, and I think they were duplicating other people's names and changing it just a little. People know I can't see. And they were just they were putting a price on love. But can you imagine the karma that they've received from that? Or will receive from that? Alright, I gotta hurry. The battery's getting ready to go out. I might have to come back and do your question later. Page 43. In fact, I'm not going to have my battery's about to die. My phone must not have been charged all the way. I'm sorry. But yes, Priya, if you'll come back tomorrow, baby, I'll be happy to answer your question. And I'm not upset. I'm not even upset with her. But it did hurt me deeply that she did that to me. Because I would have answered the question for her anyway. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But y'all know I love you, and I know you love me. And so it doesn't make you look like a liar to me. I promise you. I promise you. Because I think it was two people. I think I know who they were. They were people who had tried to scam me, and I wouldn't let them get away with it. And then they were trying to get back at me by doing that, just to try to hurt me. So don't worry about it. It's okay. All right, this is what else we got. When the word Lord appears as your challenger, he gently warns of untruths, denial, and unsupportive thoughts and words in any area of your life. If you've been dishonest in any way, it's time to make amends. Change your tune. Otherwise, your impact on the world will not be as effective as you would like. Even if you were to be successful as an immediate result, there would be a price to pay later. A perk to pay later. If others are being unsupportive towards you, know that it's them, not you. Don't take the world personally. Remember that you don't have to engage others when they project their own fears and negativity onto you. And you remember I told you that. When you can see through it and you see that the way somebody lashes out at you in anger, it's not them, it's the person inside of them that's wounded. And you can see that they're acting out in their woundedness. You don't have to react back to that person. You can just simply choose to walk away and say, I'm not going to even participate in this. Another message here is about how you speak about yourself. Do you say self-depreciating words? Do you minimize yourself as not to intimidate others? So because you do have these gifts, do you minimize that so that other people, because I know I do intimidate other people. But I have people tell me all the time that I'm too much, or I'm this, or I look at things too, I put patterns together too quickly, and I try to make things fit that don't. I have people criticize me all the time, but they are not going to minimize me because I know what's going on with me. Yeah, I need to talk to YouTube about it. I need to send YouTube a message. I can't remember which video it was, or I could tell them to go back and watch it. And it's in the. I can figure it out though. About how long has it been since you were here? About 3 weeks or 4? Or has it been longer? It was before I went to work, or I was like, it was like 2 weeks before I went to work. So I can figure it out. I got it. Don't worry about it. And baby, I am not angry with you, and nobody thinks you're a liar, okay? This has nothing to do with you. This reading, it's a coincidence. And the fact that it happened at all is part of this reading. If you're just now tuning in, the whole reading has been about these people that do this, that pretend to be somebody they're not. And I even said, you're hurting other people. Honest, good-hearted people. You're making them look like thieves and liars. So it's all part of the reading. It has nothing to do with you, okay? Don't take it personal. And then it goes on to say, don't minimize yourself as not to intimidate others. Do you refer to yourself as less than beautiful? Time to change those unconscious statements now. It's not difficult to change things, as we are always given a choice to make that new decision. As long as you remain positive and supportive, the rest will quickly melt away until all you perceive is the highest good of all. All you need is desire to change and be positive, and the word Lord will help you win the game of life. And then we have the Eyes of Beauty in reverse, number 25. So if somebody's having a really hard time with seeing themselves as beautiful, it may be that you compare yourself to others. As a challenger, the Eyes of Beauty are a sign that self-centered fear expressed through harsh judgment is behind your current circumstances. Are you seeing only the flaws in your circumstances or in another person? Are you looking at what is wrong instead of what could be made right? If you take some time to adjust your eyes and see things exactly as they are, you cannot help but admire their perfection. Release your expectation and demands and be with the truth of the way things are now. You're whole and beautiful and perfect, and what you observe is too. It may not be exactly what you want, but perhaps in shifting your vision, that's why vision was what was going to come out in your love life, because you're going to shift your vision and the way you see this situation. Somebody was very jealous. They were unhappy. They were with the wrong person. And the three of you need to sit down and have a talk, and they need to tell that person, I'm no longer in love with you, I'm in love with them. And I want to be with them. And I want us to figure out a way as adults to separate and get away from each other. That's what you need to do. But do what you want to do. It's your life. Release your expectations and demands and be with the truth of the way things are now. You are whole and beautiful and perfect, and what you observe is too. It may not be exactly what you want, but perhaps by shifting your vision, you will find clarity and will see that it's exactly what you need at the time. A total shift in perception is what is required now. And that's what I said at the beginning, isn't it? All of these things came out in the very beginning of the reading. Priya, were you asking me, baby, if your boss is pleased with you? Is that what you were saying? Because that's the exact same question that they asked me that day that they said they were leaving that money. They asked me, was their boss pleased with them? And I remember the answer was very pleased. The Queen of Swords came out. Well, okay, you're saying you want to know whether the truth will be revealed regarding your managers at work. I'm gonna answer her question real quick. Will the truth be revealed regarding the managers at work? No need to worry. It's up to you. So you might have to do something. If Priya does her part, will it be revealed? You're not ready. Right now, there needs to be forgiveness. I think you're angry with them and you need to forgive them. It's not the right time, but the answer is yes. Right now, it's looking like you need to forgive them. Remember what I was just saying? Like, are you looking at them from as a point of being flawed? Because we all are. I mean, let's face it. But when we act out in certain ways, we're doing it out of a wounded place. And if we can see through our spiritual eyes and see that they're doing it out of a wounded place, sometimes we can even talk to them and be like, why were you doing that? You know that's not right. We're being told, though, to have integrity, to be content, and be gentle. So I'm not, and also to have respect. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you do need to forgive, and it does look like it is going to be revealed. So give it some time. It was indicating that you had a part to play in it, which was forgiveness, okay? So you do the forgiveness and be the one that's forgiving and loving and kind, who has integrity and they're content with the way things are right now. Be gentle and respectful, and Spirit will reveal the truth, okay? Yeah, I can see that they are, but it looks like if you'll forgive them for what's going on, I was fired because of somebody like that. I can try to get you a time frame for how much longer you're going to have to put up with it. How much longer will Priya have to put up with these conniving women? September. Not this year, but September. Huh. That's weird. Okay. I'm hoping it meant this year in September, but it came out in reverse, which usually means not this year. I'm trying to think. Can you tell me when this might end? I'm going to try to get the numbers to tell me. Can you tell me when this might end? I have 6. I'm going to say 2026. I think this year came out in reverse, but we can read it as an upright. But you may have to tell somebody what's going on. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. If these people are being conniving and stuff, you might have to have a private meeting with your boss and tell your boss what's going on. Unless it is your boss. And then I would just forgive and wait and see. Is it safe for Priya to talk to somebody about this to get this resolved? What's going on? I'm not able to get an answer for you. You won't give me one. Alright, trinkets, please. For some reason, the pendulum would not give me an answer. Okay, I have a feather for Cosmo. Maybe he'll get some food today. A piece of trash. Somebody that might be acting like a trash. A leaf for the fall. That would be September. I have a skull head. I have a crown. I have an owl. I have a thing that says love. I have a sailboat. I have a cross for our Christ. Jesus is here. And I have a butterfly. Somebody might have a gambling problem, or you might be going to Vegas, or you might live in Vegas. I have my Mickey Mouse key. Remember I said my Mickey Mouse key kept coming out from Florida? And I have a piece of tiger's eye. Alright, you guys. I love you so much, and I hope that you'll come back tomorrow. I'm sorry I can't answer any more questions. My phone is down to like 13%. So I'm going to have to drop for now. If you were able to donate and you did, thank you so much. I will give you the money back as soon as I get paid. I'll send it back to your Cash App or your PayPal, okay? If not, that's fine. I'm not here for money. But I just figured I would put it out there that I need to feed my babies. And I know some of you all love my babies too. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Namaste. Mwah.